Coming up in 6 tonight, it's emerged that the IRA had planned to force a local man to drive their biggest bomb ever to a Fermanagh checkpoint. There's been a double bomb attack at Donegal Pass police station in Belfast. 360 new jobs for the province at Macrofelt in Ballymoney. An appeal to voters to make the protection of birds a political issue in sport, soccer and Gaelic. And Japanese drummers come to Downpatrick to teach their skills to Westerners for the first time. That's 6 tonight.
11 BCCI men charged with laundering drug money. New poll expected to give the Tories a 4-point lead. The First Lady of Fleet Street dies of cancer. And another digit on telephone numbers. Good evening. An American grand jury has, within the last hour, charged 11 officials from the Bank of Credit and Commerce International with laundering millions of dollars of drugs money. 2 of them are based in Britain. 1 has already been arrested in Calais. He's Saeed Vayuddin Ali Akbar, the former head of BCCI's Treasury Department in London. Robin White at ITN reports.
Today's indictments, which accuse the BCCI of racketeering, come after intensive investigations into the bank's activities in Florida and drugs money laundering around the world. It alleges that 6 officials laundered more than $14 million in drugs proceeds and engaged in a worldwide conspiracy involving more than 145 accounts. Here, the Serious Fraud Office confirmed that one of those indicted, BCCI's former treasurer, was arrested in Calais. Another man's being sought in this country. The indictment also names a leading member of one of the Medellin drugs cartels in Colombia. Employees of 2 subsidiaries of the bank have already been found guilty of laundering drugs money 2 years ago. Huge deposits were laundered wholesale, and it was armed with that information that the Bank of England acted on the 5th of July, closing them down.
An opinion poll out in tomorrow's Daily Telegraph is expected to give the Conservatives their biggest lead over Labour since April. The poll will be released this evening, but some details have emerged within the last half hour. It's expected to give the Tories a 4.5% lead over Labour. Well, speculation has continued over the possibility of a November general election. Mr Kinnock said the country needs an election. I hope they'll have the courage to call one quickly. Paddy Ashdown said the uncertainty was bad for the economy and was distracting ministers from their jobs. The Conservative Party chairman, Chris Patten, tried to calm nerves. He said there's still plenty for us to do. And in Hong Kong, Mr Major was also trying to squash speculation.
There are elections in Hong Kong soon, and faced with a small demonstration for greater democracy in the colony today, the Prime Minister may well have reflected on when he's going to put democracy to the test back home. So will he call an early election?
I think speculation like that at this stage of a parliament is always inevitable. I just hope not too many people will take that almost inevitable day-to-day speculation too seriously. We still have work to do.
On the question of his dealings with the Chinese, Mr Major showed considerable emotion when emphasising that he could now personally hold them to their promises.
If there's any dispute or any difficulties at any stage, I am now in a position to say to the Chinese leaders, I sat down opposite you, and you reaffirm the terms of the joint declaration.
For the rest, Mr Major spent the day reassuring the people of Hong Kong, all of them, even those who have no hope of leaving when the Chinese take over, that Britain will not simply abandon them. One other point which may have gone through the Prime Minister's mind as he rode Hong Kong's pride and joy, the local underground system, which is clean, runs on time and makes money. If there is to be an election, could this be the model for the expected commitment to privatise British rail in the Tory manifesto? Michael Brunson, ITN, Hong Kong.
One of Britain's best-known journalists, Jean Rook, died today after losing a 3-year battle with breast cancer. The woman Fleet Street christened its First Lady started her long career on the Sheffield Telegraph and the Yorkshire Post. Later, in London, she worked on The Sun, The Daily Sketch and The Daily Mail. And for the last 20 years, she's written a weekly page for The Daily Express. She once said, "You know why I'm popular with the readers? Because I'm as ordinary as they are."
In her usual no-nonsense fashion, Jean Rook had personally broken the news to her son and colleagues that she was dying of cancer.